What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about Richard Hitchens versus George Kambosos when we come right back. Welcome to another episode of Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. I am Bing. And today, I'm in a playful mood, joyful, silly mood today, in rare form. Happy Father's Day to my pops and to all the dads of the universe. So, where do we start today? So much to talk about in the world of boxing. And it's a beautiful day today. It's a little bit humid out here. So hopefully you got that AC going or whatever. If it's hot in your part of the region or whatnot. And let me say shout outs to Cam J off the top. Shout outs to Cam Jeezy for sure. And just big salute to all the boxers all around the globe. Because they're making the sport what it is. Whether they're very known, whether they're entry level and just making their first debut or whatnot, you know. But it's all in the makings of the here and now in boxing and the future of boxing. There's just a lot going on in the sport of boxing. And today we plan to break down the different layers and the different parallels of boxing. Hey, thanks for the love, Cam J. I appreciate you, brother, for sure. Let's get it going, man. Cause I'm ready to cook up, like you would say, and I know you're ready to cook up as well. So, we get it going, man. On this beautiful day. So yeah, last time I was on here, I talked a little bit about Keyshawn Davis. He doing his thing. But it's very unfortunate that he would not make weight by 4 pounds and have to sit and watch his brother Kelvin Davis fight or whatever on the undercard of a fight that he should have been the headliner for. So for those who might have missed that, Keyshawn Davis didn't make weight, so therefore he was not the main event, and he was replaced with Cleveland, Ohio stand up, the young up and coming Abdullah Mason. He was the main event of that fight card. And Kelvin, he has to go back to the basics, and his trainer Bomac is a great trainer, but hopefully they can implement some strategies for his next fight, and make sure that his next fight is no greater than the opponent he just fought, because he's still making a lot of mental mistakes, a lot of amateur type mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Every time he would throw a combination, a 1 or a 1-2, he wasn't doing anything defensively to stop the right hand of his opponent. He just kept stepping back in a straight line. catching that right hand every time. So Kelvin has to definitely work on his defensive game for sure. Abdullah Mason, sky is the limit for that guy. From this point on out, I expect to see great things from that young man. He's been holding it down, and he's very humble. That's what I like about him. He's very humble. Abdullah Mason is definitely a humble dude, and like I said, it just cherry on top because he's from the state of Ohio, so that's even makes it better. And speaking of Ohio, shout outs to Ohio Runs Boxing. My boy Marcus up in Youngstown, Ohio, who gives a lot of love to the Cincinnati boxers and who makes trips down here at certain times, and he shows love to the city of Cincinnati. So shout outs to Marcus up in Youngstown. Ohio Runs Boxing for sure. So yeah, man, it's a lot going on. I mean, Justice Huni fought Fabio Wardley, and it kind of played out how majority of us thought it would go. Justice Huni is the more polished fighter. He's more skilled. He has slightly better footwork. Better hand speed, moves better. Things like that. Where Fabio Wardley is pretty much, I won't compare him to Deontay Wilder because he's not a one-trick pony, but he's not the most skilled fighter. But Fabio Wardley, he does have a lot of power. He's a real big dude, so he got the height, he got the reach. He has a lot of the different natural abilities that you would like to have if you're a boxer in that ring, if you can take advantage of those advantages that you are blessed with and born with, the long reach, the height, etc., things like that. So Huni pretty much was outboxing Fabio Wardley, and in the late rounds of that fight, he ran right into that punch. He literally ran right into the right hand of Fabio Wardley. And Frank Warren, he talked about that in an interview after the fight. Like, look, he was wanting Fabio Wardley to pick it up a little bit. Hey man, throw that right hand, man. You got that right hand. Let it go, man. Let it go. And once he started letting that right hand go a little bit more, it started making a difference for sure. Because, like I say, the type of power he has, if he catches you flush, especially in that circumstance where he caught him coming in towards him, it was like boom. You know what I'm saying? Now, to just break that down a little bit with that situation, I'm hearing that Team Huni, Justice Huni, that his team is trying to appeal, saying that that was a fast count. So I want to know y'all opinions. Was it a fast count, or was the count, as it should be? Was it just because you got people who say it's a fast count in this situation, but in the situation of Deontay Wilder and Fury in the first fight, they say the count was too slow. When Tyson fought Buster Douglas back in the day, a lot of people say the count was too slow. So like I talked about on my last live, how are we going to fix this problem in boxing? They have I think a timekeeper or something like that. So it's like, why is it such a controversy on how does it ever come to a point where you have controversies over a count being too fast or a count being too slow? Why is it not a certain system the same for every fight? It's not like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So like, what is it all about? Like, what is it? What is the actual structure when it comes to the counting in boxing? Why is it different in different scenarios when it shouldn't be a situation of a fast or slow? It should be a system to where it's the same for each and every fight. But anyways, they're trying to appeal, from what I'm hearing, Justice Huni. They're trying to appeal on the fact that saying it was a fast count. Now go back and watch that fight on YouTube. After the fact that Wardley dropped Huni, uh, fast count or not, you didn't really see any objection, any body language from Justice Huni, like he was trying to argue with the ref as to say that he wanted to continue to fight. It looked like after he got hit with that type of shot, although he did get up eventually, he was pretty much out of it. And had the fight continued, in my opinion, Fabio Wardley was going in and going all out. I think that it could have ended a lot worse. So for Huni and them to want to go back and try to appeal, it's like, come on now. Your guy, he was pretty much done. So I want to know your opinion on that. Do you think that this appeal will even hold up? Because Frank Warren doesn't seem to be bothered. He said he don't think that appeal is going to be upheld. Um, so next month in July, we'll be seeing again the Bronze Bomber out of Alabama, down south region here of America, Deontay Wilder, aka the Bronze Bomber, known mainly for his right hand, his supernatural power in his right hand that he delivers. But you also have to give him a warrior's heart. He has a lot of heart, determination, and will, all wrapped up in a bubble. You know what I'm saying? Because when you saw him in those trilogies with Fury, and you even seen him in a predicament versus Luis Ortiz when he got hurt and got buckled, he was able to sustain and stay on his feet with Ortiz and recoup. And by that next round, he was back. He was right back up in there, and eventually he knocked out Luis Ortiz in the first fight. Now in the second fight, of course, the rematch, it was wasn't a very exciting fight. It pretty much was one-sided from rounds 1 through round 6 and a part of round 7. You had Ortiz winning on the scorecards every round. But then in round 7, like a missile, Deontay Wilder comes with his right hand. Game over for Luis Ortiz. So like I say, you got the first fight with Tyson Fury and Wilder. That was a back and forth affair. Some people felt that Fury won the first fight. Some people try to argue that. But then on the side of Wilder and his fan base, a lot of people felt like the count was too slow and that Tyson Fury got extra seconds. So that's a controversy, of the past. But, at the end of the day, I like to talk about all the different controversies throughout the years up until this era and this date to kind of see how are some of these same controversies that happened in the past happening again in this present day. If you know what I mean. The second fight Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Um, it was a one-sided affair. You know, prior to that fight, Tyson Fury said, "I'm gonna walk Wilder down, and I'm gonna go straight at him. I'm not gonna box a lot. I'm going straight for him." And he did that. He did just that. He went straight in there and handled his business. He had Wilder on the back foot, and he pretty much dominated him from the beginning bell until the towel got thrown in by the corner of Wilder. And then the big conspiracy stuff started to happen where Wilder fired Mark Breland, who was the only one, in my opinion, who was an ex-boxer and had credentials and understood boxing, versus JD's, who was just a yes man, who was always saying, clapping his hands, "Wilder, you look great. Keep throwing that right hand." Instead of him working on certain things that Wilder may have lacked in certain departments, they just wanted to focus on the fact that this man had a mighty right hand. And it's like when it comes to boxing, in my opinion, I would think that you would want to work on the areas that you lack in. Just like if a person goes to the gym, if I'm right-handed and I know I'm strong with my right hand, I try to work on my left hand and do more reps on my left hand to kind of get it as strong as my right, as my natural hand. But with Wilder, they seem to only focus on what he was already doing and what he felt he was good at as far as landing his right hand, but they never tried to work on other areas, like working on his opponent's body, like going to the body of his opponent and stuff like that, working on certain combinations, things like that. You know, it's a lot of little small tweaks I felt like they never really worked on in developing Wilder. They pretty much just said and let the narrative be out here that, which is true, he did start boxing late. He started boxing like age 19 or 20. I get it. But there's a lot of years that he's been in boxing from the time he started up until now. There's no reason why he doesn't know the basic fundamentals, or he knows them, he just doesn't implement these basic fundamentals. And it started to cost him once he rose up in opposition, like Zhilei Zhang and Fury, of course, and then even Joseph Parker. If Wilder was using his left hand and things of that nature, and was not taking shortcuts in training, things like that, I think he would have beat Joseph Parker. It's a good chance he might have possibly beat Fury, maybe. Not for sure, but possible. And then Zhilei Zhang, it's a good chance he could have beat him if he wasn't relying on his right hand solely. But it just is what it is. You know, that's how the cookie the cookie crumbled. Jeff Aladente, yo, what in the world is up, Bring Walk? Hey man, I'm just chilling, man. Hey, it's a beautiful day, man. And if you got kids, any of you guys, happy Father's Day to y'all. And I appreciate you jumping on, my guy. You know, you always show love and support to the channel for sure. Yeah. So what's going on, Cam J, man? You trying to get down today? Because I got some topics to go over, man. If you're trying to jump on live today, man. You know, let me know what's up, man. So yeah, so Wilder here soon. He'll be fighting Tyrell Herndon. And I feel like this should be a confidence booster, or at least it's supposed to be a layup. To be that confidence booster for Deontay Wilder. So hopefully Wilder can let his hands go. because people right now are feeling like he's not going to open up. He's not going to let his hands go or whatever. Uh, where it stems from, I'm not sure. But hopefully, when he fights Herndon, we will see some of the old remnants of Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Uh, Thinking is Free 2012. Shout outs to you. Thanks for joining this live stream. Okay, you said is Wilder with the same trainer? I think so. As of right now, from what I can see, I'm gonna do some more research. But I think Malik Scott is the same trainer right now that he's been having his last few fights, or at least Malik Scott is the head trainer. Now, if he has any other trainers in the camp, uh, I'm not for sure. That's something Cam J may know because he's a Wilder fan. But it's all good, man. Because Bomb Squad, he definitely he does bring some excitement to the heavyweight division. And like they said, you know, when it comes to people like Wilder, even Fury, AJ, these guys ain't gonna be around too much longer. They've been in the boxing game for a while, so they got a handful of fights left before they retire for good. So we need to go ahead and enjoy the fights we get from them while they're still here and holding it down in the boxing game. You know what I mean? And speaking of that fight, Deontay Wilder versus Tyrell Herndon. I want to know y'all predictions in the chat. Just let me know, who do y'all feel wins? How do they win? And what round? If it even makes it to 12. If it doesn't make it to 12, like we're known to see Wilder do, what round does Wilder stop Herndon? Or could it be the other way around? Would Herndon happen to stop Deontay Wilder? I like to talk about different aspects and different perspectives all around the board. You know what I mean? Because sometimes there are shockers and upsets in boxing. So that's what it is. Um, as far as me speaking on Tyson Fury, man, him and his retirement, or quote unquote allegedly he's retired. I don't really buy it necessarily. I feel like if the money talks. So I know that if the money is big enough, a big enough bag, and they say, hey, Tyson Fury, we want to line you up with Anthony Joshua. This would be a huge monumental fight, historic fight still. Y'all can fight over at Wembley or somewhere over here in the UK. And if I don't know if Turkey will be around still at that time, but whoever's funding it, they're gonna give y'all a big bag. AJ X amount of dollars, Tyson Fury X amount of dollars. Over there in the UK, I want y'all in that ring. It's going down. I can see it going down for sure. Now, I know a lot of people were saying they felt like Tyson Fury would edge or beat Anthony Joshua. And it could be. It very well could be. But I've always stood firm and stood on the fact that I felt like AJ has all the intangibles and the type of power that's needed and the body work that he'll implement, that he'll be able to stop Tyson Fury. Yes, sir. Cam J, you said Wilder. Yeah, man, he's gonna most likely he's gonna stop Herndon. If I had to give it a round, I'd say he'll knock out Herndon in like fourth or fifth round. That's what I'm thinking. Because Wilder, he don't necessarily take a long time to get warmed up when he's about to fight. He's coming right in there from the beginning bell, and pretty much all hell is gonna break loose when it comes to Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Now, in the same aspect, when it comes to Herndon, him knowing that Wilder's, his style is to knock you out. He comes in there going crazy in the first round, trying to land that right hand, trying to line him up. So he might have a game plan to try to negate the right hand of Deontay Wilder. So that'd be interesting if he has a game plan that's even effective for the first few rounds to where Wilder couldn't land that right hand flush. That'd be something to see right there. That'd be something to see right there, man, for sure. So we gonna see here, in the next couple weeks, and also in the next few weeks, about 5 weeks from now, the undisputed Daniel Dubois versus Alexander Usyk for undisputed champion. So in that rematch, Usyk versus Triple D, Daniel Dynamite Dubois, hailing out of the UK, and Alexander Usyk hailing from the Ukraine. I've seen some footage of Daniel Dubois. It looks like they are working on certain areas and they have a strategic game plan to try to hit that home run when he steps in the ring versus Usyk. It's going to be a much better rematch, in my opinion, than the first fight. Because everything that Dubois had been through with some of the losses, him giving up against Usyk in the first fight, I think he's going to be serving out his pain in a rematch. From all the critics, even now people say, oh, Dubois is going to quit again and all this different things. I think all that is going to be propelling the young and dangerous now, and dangerous Daniel Dubois, in his prime, a grown man, age 27, grown man strength, is going to be potential problems in this rematch. Now, am I saying Dubois wins for sure? I'm not saying that. No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is, I think Dubois' chances of winning in this rematch are definitely higher than they were in the first match. Yeah, that's right. That's how you heard it. In the first match, it won't be the same on the second go around. Uh Thinking is Free 2012. I don't want to see Wilder in one of those stupid one around fights. Um Jeff Al Dente, you said Dubois Dubois is going to bring it. For sure, man. He's going to bring it, man. You know, people are overlooking so much about that young man. Like he has a lot of uh things riding on him. And he's going to be fighting. The fight's going to be in the UK. So Dubois has the fact his fan base is going to be there. His fan base is going to be there to support him. He fell short the first time. He's been on his winning streak. Pretty much all or nothing. He knows this is for everything right here, and that he will never be in this position most likely ever again. So it's now or never. He's going to put it down in 5 weeks. And this is the fight I definitely have to see. Um so yeah, that's pretty much what it is, man. Now Usyk, to be fair, he's the better all around skilled fighter. More better foot speed, hand speed, angles, and and defense. His defense is pretty nice. However, he does get hit now. Remember that. Usyk does get hit. But regardless if he gets hit less than majority of opponents, he does get hit. Now Dubois has a level of power that is not the normal power. What you would consider normal power might be Usyk himself as a heavyweight. Is what you call normal power, but he hits you with the punch accumulation, and accumulated punches after so long, it's like it's creating collateral damage, and it's taking its toll. Almost like somebody took a couple of snowballs. It ain't that big, but they're hitting you with snowballs one after another. After a while, the accumulation of all these snowballs hitting you, you're gonna start feeling that. Thinking is Free 2012. You said apologies for the typo. I meant to say I don't want to see Deontay Wilder in a pointless 1 round fight. Yeah, man. Yeah, we don't want another Hellenius fight, something like that. But you know, we'll see how good of a chin Herndon has, because whoever you are, when you fight Deontay Wilder, your chin is going to be tested. If you don't land on him first and land on Wilder flush first and really cause some damage, it's going to be problems. So we're going to see just how good of a chin that Herndon has. And perhaps if he goes down, to see if Herndon gets back up. or if he even wants to get back up. You know what I mean? Because Wilder has a right hand like no other boxer in the heavyweight division. Because, like I said, I mean, the only person who might be somewhat equivalent as far as a from punch power perspective would maybe be Daniel Dubois. So it's going to be interesting for sure to to see that rematch. Um, and another rematch I'm looking forward to, of course, is Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. So big shout outs to Cam J because you sent me that link, man, and it was very refreshing to hear this guy talk about the training and the mental fortitude and the mind state of Gervonta Tank Davis in the rematch. Like he's all the way switched on. Like he's gonna be like whatever fight you seen Tank in, you're like, oh man, this is the most dangerous Tank I've seen. Well, that's the Tank that Lamont Roach Jr. is going to see in this rematch. Tank gonna be on form. Tank gonna be doing a whole lot of like mental things, like mental things to make um, Lamont Roach Jr. fall into certain traps. The game plan sounds like it's gonna be on point. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this one, y'all. So that being said, Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. rematch. What's your prediction? Let me know your predictions for the rematch when they run it back. I would like to know in the comments below. Um, hold on one second, my good people. I want to tap into my FB real quick. All right. Hey, what up, Dave? I see you, my brother, on my FB. If you can, that pin link above, hit that pin link, David, and come over to YouTube, please. But you said you think Tank going to get him out of there this time. I do too, bro, for sure, man. I think Tank gonna handle his business. Yeah, yeah, he probably did, man, Dave. He probably did underestimate Lamar Roach in that first fight. But I see the rematch going a lot different, bro, for sure. Oh yeah, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button when you come into the on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up button for sure, and let me know your predictions. Like I said, Usyk versus Dubois rematch. I want to know your predictions. Lamont Roach Jr. versus Tank 2. I would like to know your predictions. And also, while I'm just here, Shout outs to my Woodline brothers. 'Cause I know they've been doing their thing, and I appreciate uh the young homie J Love for setting up the our group chat or whatever, so everybody can kind of get connected again because everybody's no longer living in the community. Most people moved out, but it's kind of good to see everybody kind of come back. And they've been doing these barbecues and stuff, so it's always cool when I see my brothers linking up like that, man, and just reminiscing on old times and things like that. You know, from back in the '90s, the fun era. We had a lot of fun, the 10 speeds and stuff like that, sledding on the hills and stuff like that, playing basketball behind Woodline Elementary, walking to the Pony Keg. The Woodline swimming pool was lit. We used to have so much fun, man. Playing That's My Car with my neighbor, stuff like that. It's a lot of fun, man, for sure. So big shout outs to my Woodline family for sure. All right. Oh, what's that, bro? Oh, okay. So, what do you feel about the position of Richard Hitchens right now? He had a very dominant performance last night over George Kambosos, and to be fair to Kambosos, um, unfortunately he falls short of elite level or whatever, but he's fighting a lot of these opponents, and he has a heck of a resume to be taking on all these guys. And unfortunately, he does come up short, but he shows a lot of heart, just like he did last night. But Richard Hitchens proved to be too much for George Kambosos. George Kambosos, for those who may not know, is from Australia, and he came over here to the States and fought Richard Hitchens, who is from New York, I believe. And he got a boxing lesson. He definitely got a boxing lesson, and what was very noticeable and what stuck out was the jab. The jab of Hitchens was finding its place pretty much every round. Just catching George Kambosos with the jab, which is like the basic fundamental weapon of boxing. The jab sets up everything else, and he uses his jab very very well. Um, when I think of good jabs in the history of boxing, if I'm going to the old school fighters, I always say Larry Holmes. He had a remarkable jab. Muhammad Ali, remarkable jab. Even Mike Tyson had a pretty good jab to be a short guy with short arms. Mike Tyson had a pretty good jab. Lennox Lewis, of course, a great jab. Holyfield had a good jab. Riddick Bowe, a good jab. So that jab, it can be very pivotal, piv- pivotal in the sport of boxing. Um, and Richard Hitchens definitely executed his game plan very well last night, using that jab, and every now and then, jab hook, a jab hook, stuff like that. And eventually, in round 8, he caught um, Kambosos with that left body shot, and that was pretty much it. You know, by the time Kambosos did get to his feet, the ref had seen enough and waved that fight off. So the aftermath is that Richard Hitchens was said to have called out Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. I even seen a clip on YouTube where somebody's in the crowd and Teofimo, being who he is, he's up there dancing. He's out in the crowd dancing or whatever. And some guy is saying that that's the guy to beat you. Talking about Kambosos. The fact that he beat that Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez. Now, there's a lot of talk going around now on the boxing circuit that the fact that Richard Hitchens was able to stop George Kambosos, and I seen somebody make a comment saying that Haney shared the ring 24 rounds with Kambosos and couldn't stop him. Well, I mean, you could look at that a couple different ways. I mean, you could say, okay, Richard Hitchens stopped Kambosos, but prior to him, Haney did not stop him. But then some people could argue the fact that maybe the effects of what Haney did to Kambosos is why it was easier for Hitchens to put the nail in the coffin, so to speak. If you hear me, Cam J, give us a second, my brother. We're coming. All right, what's up? Uh-huh. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Yeah, I didn't get to. Yeah. Okay.
Stuff, admiring his punches and stuff. I don't like that. Saquon Moses be doing the same thing, man.
Yeah.
fast. And Zaquan Moses said, when the time right, we gonna get it in. So it's some smoke there between them two guys, man. They got smoke from with each other from the amateurs. So boxing fans just keep paying attention to both of those names amongst Zaquan Moses, which is Shakur Stevenson's nephew, and Camille Moden, Floyd Mayweather's new protege that he has under Mayweather Promotions. So good looking on Zaquan Moses last night, and then you missed the second fight with the heavyweights last night. Ah, and this is a guy that you need to tune into because of course, you're a big heavyweight guy for sure. Terramona, um, he fought this guy. I think his name was Frank Whitfield, whatever, last night. I can say he looked superb. He stopped him in the first round. And the crazy part about this guy Terry Morgan, he's a big guy. I heard that he fought he was fighting at 168, and then they broke him up and moved him to heavyweight. From what I heard, from this is a story I heard in the last 24 hours among him.
Yeah.
But yeah, you look at his size and you look at him, he looked like a heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? And he bringing that thump like a heavyweight too. Because I mean, the man looks like he's a happy guy, happy, jolly guy, and everything. But in the ring, total different guy in there, man. Punching with mean intentions in there, man. And he got a crazy stoppage. Had dude Wilford on the corner, bent up in the corner of the ropes in the ring, stopped him cold. It was nasty. It was nasty. I gotta say, it was nasty. And Terramona, from Eddie Hearn, he said that that's a guy that they're definitely pushing for matchroom boxing right now, as far as the heavyweight division. Said they're going to heavily invest in him. So people pay attention to the heavyweight Terramona. He's a prospect, but it's some new prospects and some new guys in that heavyweight division that's starting to bloom up a little bit, man. It's starting to shape out to where we start to see some of the newer guys. You know what I mean? And that's what we need. We need more good prospects and more new contenders at that heavyweight division. Especially, we need that division to get back deep as far as depth wise. Because the most
Yeah.
depth in division wise right now in boxing is about the 154-pound division right now. They got the most depth as far as talent and star power in the 154 division right now. I mean, so like I said, Terramona, you definitely big. You gotta check him out, man. And you'll like him. You'll like what he did last night. He did some good work last night, man. And did you watch the Andy Cruz fight?
Only the highlights.
Okay, okay. All right, Andy Cruz, of course, man. He looked superb last night. Fought amazing last night, man. I mean, even though his Mashiro was he was green, very green, he's tall guy but stiff, his body movement stiff, and he wouldn't keep his head off the line. And Andy was just sticking and moving with that jab throughout the night, setting up great traps and different combinations, and looking superb last night for real against this guy as he should for real because it was a total mismatch in that fight, which is Andy Cruz. He went on to get a stoppage in the mid rounds of the fight, and he moves on, and he's now the IBF mandatory for Raymond Muratala's IBF title. Now that Lomachenko retired, they elevated Raymond Muratala at the 135-pound division as the IBF champion now. And Andy Cruz, he fought for that mandatory position last night, and he won. So we'll see it in that situation what Muratala decides, him in Top Rank. I'm hearing a little bit right now, they're looking possibly to make possibly a voluntary fight before they do the mandatory with Cruz, but they may come around and may go ahead and get to negotiate, depending on how fast the IDF orders the fight. Now, if the IDF orders the fight and push them into negotiations, then they gotta handle business. But I have heard a little rumblings with Mira Tyler possibly um, taking a voluntary fight first. And one thing with Top Rank, with some boxing fans probably don't know, once you become champion at Top Rank, they renew your contract and they end up giving you a voluntary hometown fight just to promote you and everything and get you going in that manner. I mean, which they was trying to do with Keyshawn recently, but that's a whole nother story. So, but yeah, man. Good look on Eddie Cruz last night, man. He looked solid for sure. Definitely interested to see him in a fight with Tyler. I think that fight is a 50-50 fight at that 135-pound division. Andy Cruz, not much power in his punches, but I would say like as far as stylistic wise, like he trains with Jerron Ennis with Boots Ennis over there in Philly. Mosey Ennis is his trainer as well. I mean, so he's getting some good work for us, training camps wise. You can say that for sure. But the whole thing is, Mary Tyler, guys, he's just been in with better guys in the ring as a professional, in my opinion. So it makes up for an interesting fight if they do, the IBF do end up ordering that fight, which they should do. They should most definitely do it. Of course, with Cruz being the mandatory for sure now. I mean, and main event. Now, did you get to watch the main event fight though?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, all right. Now we can top it up a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit more now, because I had to give you a good rundown of the night. Because the thing about this night, for real, far as what Eddie Hearn put together in this night, he put together like great showcase fights for his guys, for his A side guys. Pretty much. No, it wasn't no 50-50 fights at all. I mean, let's be real. It was no 50-50 fights. It was all showcase fights for all the A side guys last night on the card, for real. You know what I mean? And definitely with Kambosos, same thing as well. Kambosos, I didn't expect much from him. Respect to Kambosos, I will say that. Respect to him, like, him getting in there and he's fighting, some of these, guys that that's levels above him, and he's taking on the challenge and stuff. And yeah, he did catch the little sneaky one with Tio, even though I felt even last night was even more evident that I felt like the Teofimo win for Cambosos was lucky as hell to me. You know what I mean? It's just my opinion. Like he's a clear evidence as a one hit wonder. You know what I mean? And I know some of the Haney fans. It was funny with them this week because they was like praising this win with Cambosos, like. Oh, they was like, oh, giving a whole lot of praise to Kambosos. Like, oh, Kambosos this, Kambosos that, woo, woo, woo. And now you got some of them trying to downplay Kambosos, trying to say that Kambosos watch, trying to take away from Africa's win just because, Africa calls out Devin Haney last night. Now, in particular, as far as the fight in general, Africa was superb all night, sharp, pitched the shutout. That jab was beautiful last night.
Facts.
He's coming over with that right over top, setting up different other combinations. Even fought pretty great and on the inside as well with Cambosos. And it was crazy because I seen a clip of Bill Haney after the fight, and he was like, "Man, Africa was getting touched up and everything." I'm like,
Yeah.
where?
Yeah, I seen that.
Bro, Cambosos only landed 34 punches in the fight. Like, what do you call touched up? Like, what are you talking about? Like, Bill Haney, like it's just stupid, bro. It's just stupid to
Yeah.
say something like that.
Trying to downplay his win. Trying to downplay Africa's win.
You can't
Because
downplay that,
now
man.
you can't. You definitely can't, man. Um so let's talk about this. I want to jump into something. Um
What?
so with all the controversy with Vasil Lomachenko, he's going to retire, but let's just talk about what he has done and where it stands, and you know if he is Hall of Fame, if he's not, or what do we see as should verify or solidify a person to have that achievement. In your opinion, what more could have been done or whatever? 18 wins, 3 losses, no draws. Um, you know, beat George Cambosos, but Cambosos, like we just said, I mean, he's not elite. He'll fight anybody, but he's not elite. You lose
Right.
against Devin
Absolutely.
Haney, controversial Devin Haney fight. It was still somewhat of a close fight. Jermaine Ortiz, a win from him. Richard Kami, uh, lost against Lopez. So
Yeah.
I mean, like when you think about it, only like 21 fights and you lose 3 of them, that's not a very deep, that's not a lot of longevity in a career.
Right. Right. I mean, obviously, Lomachenko, his situation was he was in the amateurs for so long. Like he fought in the amateurs for so long, to where like when he got into the pros, obviously top rank, they fast tracked him into championship contention within 2 3 fights. You know what I mean? So like they was in love with him that much. And I mean the thing is with Lomachenko, don't get it twisted as far as the Hall of Fame. I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer just to answer the question just in general. But at the same time, you kind of know my opinion about the Hall of Fame, how I feel about it. I feel like it's janky, man, because they just letting anybody in there. Like
Right.
it's like it's no real true criteria to the Hall of Fame so much for real in boxing, other than you got guys like Turkey Al Sheik paying their way to be in the Hall of Fame, and he only been in boxing for 2 3 years. Like he ain't done nothing that crazy significant for him to be in the Hall of Fame at this point right now at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that type of stuff makes me not care about the Hall of Fame.
Well, let's say this then. Put yourself in a position of somebody who's over this. We're just hypothetically. You're the
Yeah.
one that has control over it. What would you make your stipulations? What would your rules or criteria be?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not mad at they like the people that they put in there, like judges and promoters and different guys as far as the business of boxing and stuff. Referees and then of course the fighters and stuff. I'm not and the trainers too. I'm not mad at that aspect. It's just what is the criteria to have some of these people in there? Like, as far as like a fighter, it should be of course I think everything should measure up. As far as your stardom, your accolades, etc. You know what I'm saying? Everything should be in play. What have you done for boxing outside of boxing? You know what I'm saying? Like, guys like Muhammad Ali, like he stood for a lot of things outside of boxing, let alone within boxing. You know what I
Right.
mean? Some of his stuff that he stood for outside of boxing catered into what within boxing, and it helped boxing a lot at that certain era. You know what I mean? In particular. Like
Right.
stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I think this should be for all Hall of Fame, based as far as all sports in general, but just in general in boxing, as far as like, the fighters that just explain that, and then, the judges, how long, the judges and referees, how long they've been, working in boxing, what fights did they judge or referee, and, etc. from there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just different criterias, but you got to stand firm on the criterias because it's like you would look at a guy like a one time what Tim Bradley won the title one time. He was only champion in one division. Like and he's in the Hall of Fame. Like you look at a guy like him in the Hall of Fame, you're like, okay, he was only a one weight division champion. Why he in the Hall of Fame? And then they'd be asking guys like, oh, why ain't Tank shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame with his resume? I'm like, Tank is a 3 weight division champion. Tim Bradley's a 1 weight division champion. Y'all anoint him to be in the Hall of Fame. Why would Tank not be in the Hall of Fame?
Right.
Same for
Right.
Bud Crawford when he had the conversation a couple of months ago where he was saying he don't think Earl gets in the Hall of Fame. Well, newsflash: the man Earl did all the heavy lifting at 147 at that prominent time where he was fighting all the top guys. All the top guys was over there at PBC. Bud was the lone guy over there with top rank. Even Pacquiao was over there, and he didn't even have the Pacquiao fight. Pacquiao ended up leaving top rank and coming over to PBC to get fights over there with those top guys at 147. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? When you say stuff like that, it's like, oh, Earl A. Hall of Famer, you discrediting your own self because that's your best win on your resume.
There it
You know
is.
what I mean? So
Yep.
so
Exactly.
you make yourself look
Exactly.
bad at the end of the day when you
Yeah.
say stuff like that. So I'm like,
Facts.
all of these people, everybody's criteria in the Hall of Fame is totally 100% different. And you know what I'm saying? That's why when people get to talk the Hall of Fame talk, I don't talk about it that much as far as on my platform that much because it ain't that much relevant to me because the fans and the Hall of Fame don't take it as serious for real. So why should I take it as serious?
Right. Right. And then just to talk about what you were talking about. Yeah, that's the last thing you should ever do. Talk down on your best win and talk about that opponent like they down here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If anything, you want to
Yeah,
boost
Bud, you
them.
don't think about you gotta think about what you say before you say it.
Exactly. Before you say it.
Bud
Yeah.
be in his interviews and does this awfully a lot. And that was like at that time, that was a heavy conversation that we both was, talking about. We both did content on that around that time. Where we was like, bro, like, why would you say this about Earl Spence and you basically just downplaying your whole best win that you got? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you're
Right.
not going to you. I mean, you beat Canelo. Okay, yeah, that's a better win. You can say that, but at the same time, like, that's your best win out of all your fights. 40
Mm-hmm.
something fights. That's your best one. That was your biggest payday. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? That was your one and shining moment. You
Now.
should be praising that win. Like Bud say stuff like
Mm-hmm.
this, like when he's about to fight Madrimov. I remember this. I was just hearing Boxing Ego say this. He was talking about it the other day. Where you remember Bud around when he's about to fight Madrimov, like that week, the fight week, where he was like, "Oh yeah, I think this fight with Madrimov is bigger than Earl Spence." What? Wow! Like, come on, Madrimov fight bigger than Earl Spence, bro.
Right.
This is and fans get mad at me for exposing and talking about this
Right.
type of stuff, but this is the stuff that the fighter is saying.
Right.
I'm just giving my opinion. This
Exactly.
is pure BS.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, it
come
is.
on, Nazarmov is not bigger than Spence, not whatsoever. And it was crazy. We was talking about. I was on my boy Elder Boxing channel earlier, and he was talking about Nazarmov because they was talking about Boots Sanders moving up to 154 and everything. And somebody mentioned Boots versus Nazarmov. I'm like, nah, man, nah, because right now Nazarmov looking like food now after Virgil Ortiz just whooped on him. He's looking like food, and he'll definitely be food for a guy like Boots Sanders right now for sure. He'll be licking his chops for a guy like Nazarmov. No, you know what I mean? No.
Now, shout outs to Shakur Stevenson. I do agree with him when he said he disagreed with Bud Crawford. He said Spence is definitely Hall of Fame worthy. So Shakur, big
Right,
ups to
right, right.
him. I agree with that. What is
That's how me keep it real.
Yeah, man.
You be lying too, like Bud.
Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to Cam J Network. The link is in the comment in the
Yeah,
chat.
in the comments, man. Sub up, man. We working, man. And we gonna be live today at 4 o'clock today, cooking up after we get off of here today. So you know what I'm saying? Tap in. We cooking up crazy today.
You already know. So what do you feel? Did you see Wardley versus Huni?
Yeah, I watched it, man. Huni was winning that fight throughout the whole time, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people that that I talk boxing with, they all feel the same way. And Fabio just came out with that lucky one, man, and got him, man. And it caters into now. Huni wants that rematch for that fight.
Right. Now,
Now, do you think? The man Frank Warren's going to make that fight happen in a rematch? No, man.
right.
Come on now. And they know what happened with that, man. Like they know that was a tough one for Fabio. He messed around and get beat. You know what I'm saying? Probably on the rematch, baby. They ain't
Mm-hmm.
about to risk that.
Now, speaking of that fight, what do you feel about the count, the controversy? They're saying that, oh, they counted too fast. The count was too fast. So what do you feel about that
The
kind of
count is
stuff,
kind of
man?
hard to judge with this one because I do be on that stuff for as counts for as when a fighter get knocked down and stuff in particular. But it was kind of like off a little bit, so I have to kind of look at it again for it to count. But I have been hearing people talk about the count and stuff. I'm like, I don't know, but I mean, in a sense, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do run the count fast. You felt like the count was fast. I ain't surprised. I mean, it's Frank Warren's show.
Right.
Fabio is his guy.
Right. Yeah, you
They
want to,
want this to get over with.
yeah, you want that cat in the bag. Now, you know that Huni is trying to appeal it. They're trying to appeal that.
Yeah,
So what do you feel? You
yeah.
think
I
they'll
don't know.
any
I
grounds
don't
to
think it's
stand
gonna
on?
work.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna work. It's gonna work. A lot of people's doing this with fights, with certain particular fights and stuff. But in this particular situation, It ain't gonna work. It's not. I mean, it don't even have enough evidence for it to be a no contest. I
Right.
mean, like it had to be clear evidence where the count was like 1, 2, 3, like it had to be clear evidence in it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said I had to watch it back again just to see a little bit closer myself. But I didn't feel like it was that crazy at that moment. But I may be wrong though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because we seen it in fights. Um, Tyson, Fury, what Wilder. You know what I'm saying? The first fight, we felt like the count was slow as hell in that fight in the first. Like, you know what I'm saying? We seen it with Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas with Mike Tyson and knocked out Buster, and they
Yeah.
had a slow ass count in that fight. So like we just seen it in fights, you know what I mean? Like so it's weird, man.
Yeah, man. So I got a couple topics. I want to
Yeah.
talk about we're in a position right now where we got at least three guys I think about off the top of my head that are going to retire. Tank Davis said a few more fights. Anthony Joshua saying a few more fights, and then it was Tank, AJ, and Loma. Them three guys. So what do you think about this retirement, man? How these guys are kind of falling in line?
Loma, it's not surprising so much because the rumors already been there, kind of
Mm-hmm.
since literally probably even before Kambosos, for real, honestly. So not surprising on Loma's matter. AJ, I can see it happening possibly soon. I know you mentioned possibly next year. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I probably can see the same for real the way he's moving for real. I mean, because I mean, AJ in reality, like what ask this question. Answer yourself this question. What does AJ have to prove right now in boxing? Right now.
Eat nothing.
Like that's the
Yeah, pretty
question to
much.
ask. I mean, he's
Yeah.
already been unified heavyweight champion. You know what I mean? Like he got millions of dollars. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like I'm pretty sure he's done well with his money. You know what I mean? Like you see him out there, going to Ghana, like you know what I'm saying, he's enjoying himself, you know what I mean? With his family and friends and everything. So like, I mean, what does he have to necessarily prove? He probably don't have to prove anything. We already know with the fight with Wilder is kind of long gone. It's a long shot from now. Like it's not going to happen. So I didn't give up hope on it.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get
Yeah.
that fight. You know what I'm saying? And then
Exactly.
even the Fury fight, I ain't so convinced of that because it looked like Fury. He enjoying himself back on the beer and the coke, probably, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's looking like a long shot for both of those fights for AJ. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't care for AJ to come back and be like, I'm going to fight Big Baby Anderson. I'm going to fight
Right.
Derek Chisora. Like nobody
Right.
don't
That
care
kind.
for to see him in
Right.
those type of fights. Like
Yeah.
no, like
Exactly.
if that's the case, put you in there with the young boy Moses or something. Let me see you with the young boy. Pass him the torch. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
speaking of
Like you know what I'm
him,
saying? Like
yeah,
that. Like
that's part of my
do something
discussion.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You bring up a good point. So speaking of Moses, that's a topic. He is going to be, from what I'm hearing, he is going to be fighting Dillian the Body Snatcher. They're saying that fight
Right.
is a
He's
green light.
headlining August. He headlining the August 16th Saudi card that Turkey has in play up there on the same day as Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. Dumbass move,
Oh,
but I mean I'm pretty sure the fights is going to be during the daytime.
right. The timing.
But I
Yeah.
mean it's just like the thing is like in the card that they have kind of set up a little bit for that card. It's not a bad card at all, to be honest. Only thing is you're doing it the same day as Tank Davis is fighting. Nobody's
Yeah.
not going to care about that card that day. Just being real, like you know what I'm saying. Nobody like us as pure boxing fans
Yeah.
that
Purist. Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying. We're going to watch it, of course. You know what I mean, but like just the casuals and stuff, they're not going to watch that during the daytime when they know Tank Davis fighting it that night. Like
Right.
they're not. Like you know what I'm saying. Like everybody's gonna wait and spend their money, get ready, prepare for Tank Davis, fight parties, all of that for Tank Davis on this rematch, and the build up the promo for this rematch is going to be crazy, especially from KMJ. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying in general, like I think I do like the fight with Moses though. It is a good step up fight for Dillian White. I mean, I got him winning that. I got him winning that. Just an early little prediction, probably stoppage maybe, man. You know what I'm saying? Moses looked like he's definitely the goods, and this is a good test for him in this fight. This is a good test.
I
I
ain't gonna
like this
lie.
fight for him.
Here's my thing, cause I love the heavyweights, like you said. I just wonder if Dillian White is going to get up for this fight, for this moment, that he gonna be like the spiteful Dillian White. You know how he is. He loves to fight
Yeah,
in close. He
but
likes
this is
to
the thing.
bang.
This is the question. This is the thing, though. Like that might not benefit him fighting a guy like Moses, though. With Moses' power,
Yeah.
Dillian power ain't that crazy as it used to be, in per
Right.
se. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? He's not as crafty as he used to be. Like this fight, and you really in reality think about, it's really tailor made for Moses. It's very tailor made for him. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like that, and Frank Warren, they know what they doing for us this particular fight. They smart. They smart. You know what I mean? They
Uh-huh.
WBO #1 ranking for Moses. He hot. He got a hot name in the heavyweight division right now. Like they need that extra little boost for him. And this is it right here. He step and stop him. Then now he got Dillian White on his resume. You know what I'm saying? And now everybody gonna be pushing for him. That they're gonna be, oh, we want to see him against, this guy, that guy. They gonna start wanting to put him with more top names if he stopped Dillian White. That's how the look's gonna be.
That is true. Yeah, that's the perfect stepping stool to get him to
That's
the
right.
to the big leagues.
I like Moses. I like him, man. I'm a fan, man. And like some of them other guys that we kind of talked about, like the Terramona cat. I remember I mentioned the guy Josh Edwards that's with Golden Boy that's like 2-0 right now. He is a high prospect. Some of those guys coming up, like I'm seeing some more shit, man. With that way, we gonna see, man. I just hope some more guys in the heavyweight division pop up, man, and really show out, for this division, man, because we need that division back, going heavy.
Yeah. And speaking of Moses, what I like about him, and I'm not comparing him as far as saying he's like this fighter, but I'm saying me being a Mike Tyson fan from back in the days, you got power punchers, they're normally stepping on their front foot and they're gonna let it go. But rarely do you see guys who move back and knocking you out. And Moses did that in his last fight.
Yeah.
And everybody was like,
Yeah,
wow, okay.
Moses is a little crafty in there too, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know the competition isn't as crazy, but I mean, we get to see a step up with Dillian White. You know what I'm saying? This is better competition. This is what fans wanted to see after we just seen what he just did a couple weeks ago. So
Mm-hmm.
he's giving us what we want to see. So people can't complain about this fight then per se. You know what I'm saying? Now the thing is, how this is a question I gotta ask you right here for us though. How much gatekeeper time that you think Dillian White gonna be on this fight? That's the question. That's the real question. How much gatekeeper time do you think Dillian White gonna be on this fight?
But this is what I'm wondering too. Because it was a fight Dylan was going to have. Remember, he hurt his finger? He injured his finger.
Yeah,
He said he was in the best fighting shape of his life for that fight. So, knowing he's fighting the younger lion, I think he's going to be in the best physical shape we've seen him in. I would like to think that he would be.
I would hope so. I mean, the thing is too though, with Dillian is like this is you like they're literally considering you as a gatekeeper right now. So it's like
Right.
it's
Right.
your last little hoorah right here. You can't get
Exactly.
it done right here. Like you're down there with them with those gatekeeper guys for sure. Like title
Mm-hmm.
shots, all of that is over with. I mean,
Yeah.
so like this is last hoorah. So he definitely need to be very motivated for this fight and come in and show up and show out on this fight with Moses. This is a tough task, man. This Moses guy, man. I like this
Yeah.
kid.
Me too, man. Yeah, me too. Hold on, me.
What you got next?
The topic was um. So the venue. There's no specific venue, as far as I've heard, for Canelo versus Crawford. Have you heard anything? Any update?
No, still no update. Now, if you didn't, I don't know if people watched Thursday with with Oscar De La Hoya with the clapback Thursdays that he does on his Instagram page, man. He dropped a powerful clapback Thursday, probably his most powerful one he did yet. And he mentioned in between there that the Canelo and Bud fight is going to be during the daytime because UFC has an event later that night.
Mm,
So I'm like, okay, we about to have Canelo Bud during the daytime on September 13th on during the daytime of college football, bro. Come on, man. I mean, of course, I'm going to watch, of course, but
right.
it's still at the same time like first
Yeah.
it was going to be on a Friday, then they was about to start selling tickets for Allegiant Stadium. Then they stopped the whole ticket situation, and then they moved the date to the Saturday and said that they were going to announce the event and announce the venue, etc. Now they officially announced the fight for the second time because they announced this fight twice, if you want to be honest. So they announced the fight. Excuse me. They announced the fight the second time, and they announced, oh, it's September 13th. It's going to be on Netflix. Um, you know, under anybody want to be on the undercard, reach out to me and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is it's all over the place. But then we like, where's the venue? So the problem is with Allegiant Stadium, and me and my boy Elder Boxing, we've been talking about this the last few days. For real, that's my guy, man. Very sourceful on the boxing side. We was talking about it. We was like, so UNLV plays Idaho State that same day. And right now, they were trying to negotiate with them to try to see if they can move them so they can use Allegiant Stadium. But I'm like, bro, why are y'all trying to go through all of this hassle with trying to get a stadium for this particular
Right.
fight? Y'all
Right.
in Vegas. Go to the MGM Grand.
You would
Go
think.
to
Yeah.
T-Mobile Arena. Go to the Sphere. They got a new place called the Sphere that's beautiful up there in Vegas.
I heard
Go
about
to
that.
one of these venues
Yeah.
in Vegas that's an arena, and you got a better chance of selling out for sure with that as far as the capacity of either venue, and you can have a great turnout and you can make some money finally. You can finally make some money. Turkey don't want to win. He don't want to win. You know what I'm saying? It's no reason this fight has press conferences set up. Three of them, by the way. One of them you got to pay for New York $70. Nasty work in that aspect. We got to pay $70 for a press conference for a fight that we don't even know where the venue at. Like, are we kidding me? Like, it's insane. This is bad business. This is amateur boxing shit right here from Turkey Hollow Street right here. Like, bro, like you so excited to announce stuff. Sometimes handle the business first, then you make the announcement. Do like PBC does in the most professional way, where we handle our business, lock our venue in, our date, etc., fighters, all of that, and then we make the announcement. Then we start promoting it, we start building up. Not just building up for a fight that we don't have all the business squared away. Now, granted, he got the money. They should figure something out. But why are they going so much in the hassle of trying to negotiate with UNLV to try to get that venue from them, a stadium? I don't even need that fight to me. Don't even need a stadium vibe to me. Like
Right.
that fight, it needs an arena vibe, like old school boxing, and vibe out in the arena in Vegas, man. You can make some money off of Canelo and Bud. Like Turkey shooting his own self in the foot with this whole situation, bro. Like, bro, put them guys in the arena, put together a little decent little name on the card, and you know what I mean, and make money.
Yeah, arena is the best. That's the best solution. It would make sense, and then the timing of it, 'cause like you said, to have it on the same day as a game, you would think, well, it could be this
I'm
Saturday.
a big college football fan, bro. And I sit on my Saturdays, I watch college football all day. I will sit there and watch four games. I got YouTube TV, so I sit and watch like four games at once. You know what I'm saying? Now you telling me I gotta stop during my day on September 13th, which is probably a big day in football. I'm pretty sure in college football because there'd be a lot of the best games is the earlier week games for us in the season. You telling me I gotta stop what I'm doing watching my college football that I love to watch Canelo versus Bud Crawford during the daytime instead of watching all my games that I watch throughout the day and then watching Canelo versus Bud at nighttime
At nighttime, right?
with the
Hmm.
proper time. You know what I'm saying? Fight parties at nighttime and stuff. No, a lot of people ain't gonna want to have no fight party for Canelo versus Bud during the day.
Yeah,
Like this, the logical stuff that Turkey has to think when it comes up to the business.
yeah. The
Like, you know what I'm
timing, yeah,
saying?
the timing is definitely, yeah, the timing is
It's
off.
everything. It's
Yeah,
everything, especially at that time of the year. Like
yep,
everybody in college football makes more money than a lot of sports, even professional wise. So like, it's just bad. It's just true. They just know his territory. He don't know where he's working at. He don't know what he's doing in boxing. And a
right.
lot of people has mentioned that, and it's showing true evidence right here with this particular situation.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I got a couple more topics. Let's see.
Yeah, we ready at 4 p.m. too, man. We got some crazy topics to go over crazy today too, man. So it's like it's lit
Yeah.
today.
So I got about maybe two more topics.
Yeah, go
So
over. Go.
we got so like I said, we got Wilder versus Terrell Herndon next month.
Yeah,
So do you feel
yeah.
like that's a pay-per-view worthy fight? PPV worthy?
Nah, I mean it's Black Pine. I don't know. I forgot what they're doing for us. The situation for us that I don't know. I don't know if they because Black Pine. The thing is about them, their act sucks when it comes up to fights. Like they just try to do. You remember Brian Norman Senior fought what's his name, Greg Hackett from Philly
Hmm.
recently. Like they was kind of going back and forth online, whatever. Then they ended up Black Palm setting them up. They set them up to fight, and they was supposed to have the fight on the Black Palm app, and it was glitching the whole night. So you had people on Instagram showing the fight on their phone live and everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I don't know, man. I don't know. This is why I don't like him over there for Black Prom, even though apparently they got some type of investor to help, make this fight happen, and and make a night of fights happen for us, undercard for us a specific fight. Wilder getting paid the big bucks. I don't know how much he's getting paid. I am interested into it. I do like to pocket watch a little bit, so don't blame me.
No, it's all
But
good, bro.
I
Yeah,
am
for sure.
I'm interested to want to know what's to pay for this fight in particular. But no, Herndon is a guy that's I think he's the same guy that walked out of the ring on FA Jagba, right?
I don't know if that
I
was
believe
Herndon. Was
so.
that him?
I think so. I want to
Okay,
say so.
I'm gonna go
I
watch
want to
it
say
back.
so. I don't
Yeah.
know. 'Cause I want to say he was the one that jumped out of the ring on him. Because I remember somebody was mentioning that a couple weeks ago when we was talking about him. Hold on, let me see something.
Yeah, I remember
F
that.
A John Blood. Let me look at that box right real quick.
Um,
So,
so yeah,
oh
as far as Wilder, man, um, and is that the same BLK Prime? Is that the one that Adrian Broner was supposed to fight on a long
yeah,
time ago?
yeah,
That
yeah,
BLK Prime, whatever.
yeah. It's the same one. Um, okay, so yeah, that's why it's in the. Okay, so so they They fought. Okay, Ajabo fought him in his debut fight, and he
Oh,
knocked him
okay.
down twice in the first round and stopped him in the first round. So that's what happened. That was
Mm.
in 2017.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I see it.
man,
I see it
looking
going the
at
same
Herndon,
way.
I mean, Herndon's 24-5, 15 knockouts. He then got knocked out 4 times. Look at his last fight. He fought in 2024. He won by split decision. His last 2 fights, he won by split decision in 2024. Actually, in 2023, he got a knockout, but he did get knocked out by Richard Torres that same year too in 2023. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So I mean, he's been active, but he's not the crazy style fighter. And he's what's his style? His style is kind of they don't really got no style for him. These they had the styles on here with him for real. So yeah, Herndon, Wilder. This is the tailor made fight for Wilder, man, for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tailor made fight. Like you got to get the job done. And
Facts.
I mean, let's have this conversation too, because we talked about it in the chat. As far as Wilder and Allen, man, we got to have this on live for this. What you think about that situation for us, like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
oh,
Wilder versus David Allen.
Jay,
Like, what you think about that situation?
is this plugged up? It died. Hold on 1 second.
You good? Yeah, Wilder, man. I like Wilder
Like,
in this fight with Herndon, but it's very interesting that with right now with the fight that he has with Herndon, that they're possibly trying to match him up with a young guy like David Allen. It's like they're almost positioning him as like a bona fide gatekeeper at this point. With Eddie Hearn trying to have his young guy David Allen fight Deontay Wilder if Wilder gets past Herndon. Like that's some real interesting, thing to think about for us that with Wilder. Because like whoever ever thought that Wilder would have a situation where they're looking at him as a gatekeeper. They're not looking at him as a guy that's a championship contender anymore. You know what I mean? So like who would have ever thought that? And it's crazy to sit back and think about it for real. You know what I mean? Because we look at this Wilder as one of those guys, as one of the top heavyweights forever.
yep. Okay. I'm back. My bad. Do you hear me?
And wow, yeah.
Okay.
So back to what I was asking you
Mhm.
was with Wilder, you know, what you think about Wilder if he gets past Herndon, far as him, possibly facing David Allen, a guy that Hearn is pushing as, one of his heavyweight prospects pretty much coming up in the heavyweight division.
I mean, it would be cool, but I personally feel like Dave Allen is a little overrated. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right.
He
Me too. Me
just,
too. I ain't too crazy about him, but
yeah.
yeah, but
I think a Wilder who's coming off a confidence win off of Herndon, which he should win, he can step into Dave Allen and get him up out of there for real. Because Dave
right,
Allen, he's not like a Zhang. He's not like a Parker who's a excellent boxer, or like a Zhang who is a awkward southpaw big puncher. I mean, he has
right,
he has
right, right.
decent power, but he's right there in range. Wilder can clip him,
Absolutely,
and he gets hit. He gets
absolutely.
hit. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he gets hit, he was getting hit by dude. I forget the dude he just rematched. I forget the guy he just fought twice. But you getting touched up by him. Just imagine if Wilder touching you. Wilder can hit you with half the velocity of a punch. You
Right,
know what I'm saying? So I think
right.
Wilder might knock him out for real. Cause dude think he thinking Wilder food. That's what he think.
But you don't you think it's crazy that Eddie Hearn trying to push that though?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
crazy to
yeah.
me. It's like almost like it almost feel like it's disrespect at one point for real. Like Like that, we was just last year talking about trying to match Wilder and AJ, and now you trying to put me up against one of your youngest now? Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
And he ain't even better than Teofimo.
Mm-hmm. And if any fight were to come and happen, if any fight does come to fruition, excuse me, it needs to be Wilder versus AJ, just for the simple fact Wilder started boxing late. AJ started late too. But what I'm saying is Wilder is a little older than AJ. So
Right.
why keep pushing the fight further and further back when Wilder is already at the age of 40? You don't want to keep pushing it back. You need to make that happen ASAP. So after Herndon, it would make sense for AJ to get it a little tune up or whatever if he fights Big Baby Anderson, whoever, and then jump right into Wilder versus AJ. If it's going to happen.
Okay, all right. This is how it happened. This is how it happened. And we're just speaking hypothetically for as Wilder and AJ right now currently. Herndon, Wilder handle business, boom. AJ, give him a layup. Give him a layup, which they already had done before, so it ain't nothing new to him. Give him a layup, and then boom, that's put them in for a big money fight. Put it in the UK at Wembley and
Yep.
get money.
And get money.
Why they don't want to get money, man?
That would be perfect.
Like
too.
what? This is my thing. Eddie Hearn has nothing to be afraid for in AJ in this fight with Wilder. Just get the money, man. Let AJ get the bag, man. AJ wants to. I know he wants to fight with Wilder.
Right.
I know he does. Like he's never been the guy that like he fights all the top guys. You know what I'm saying? He's never been afraid of smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I blame Hearn on a lot of this shit. Like Hearn, you gotta come on, man.
And
that's why I'm not hopeful for it because I just don't
Right.
believe in Hearn.
right. And this is the thing too, fam. It's like this is not in the beginning of either of these guys' career. They're coming to the
Right.
end of the chapter. So if anything, just make it happen because regardless of what happens, they're stepping out pretty soon anyway.
Right. And and this is the thing. Don't you think it's looking like because I mean obviously the obvious is Hearn and them is looking for the fight with Fury, hoping that they're being very hopeful that Fury
Yeah.
comes back.
Right.
I mean, so like that's what they're pushing for now. They're not even worried about Wilder. They like, oh, you obviously sure they trying to give him David Allen right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they're not even worried about Wilder. So that's why I say as a fan aspect, sometimes when we talk about some of these fights, we gotta be realistic and just kind of peek the play from the fighters and the promotional companies on what they have going on currently. And currently right now, Wilder is in a situation where it's it's either go home. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? He got to beat Herndon, and if he don't beat Herndon, it's definitely over. If he beats Herndon, he still got some life left in his career. You know what I mean? And me, I wouldn't if I was an advisor of Wilder, I wouldn't advise him fight no David Allen. Like,
Right.
no, I'm going to take a bigger money fight than that. That's not no big money fight for me. Like, at this point in this career, we're about maximizing our dollars as much as we can for us to tell in our career. I mean, so we can retire and be a good, be 100% good money wise financially. I mean, and David Allen is not that fight for Wilder as far as money. It's not a big money fight for him.
And
And then look at AJ. I mean, and even with AJ, like, what you gonna wait for Fury for? Get some other smoke. Get some other smoke out here, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, at one point, it was like both of y'all are at the end of y'all careers. It just makes sense for y'all to fight at this point.
facts. And
Like,
and personally, I feel like the better fight. I mean, obviously, like you said, Wilder versus AJ, but let's take Allen. He would look better fight somebody like Big Baby Anderson. That would be
yeah,
a lot better
honestly,
of a
I like
match.
that. I like that.
That would be
Him,
a good
Richard
matchup.
Torres, you know what I'm saying? Little Frank Sanchez fight. I had them fights. Let them get through them guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's where it need to be at. Like, no, Wilder don't need to be fighting no David Allen at this point in career. Like, that's just a sign of disrespect, in my opinion, for him. Like, they trying to feed you one of these young guys that thinking that you a pushover, pretty much. Because you heard what Eddie Hearn said. He said Wilder's not feared by anyone anymore, and he
Right.
truly believes that. He truly believes that.
Yeah. Oh, shout outs to fam Zone 15. What's up, fam? And
Salute, salute,
my
salute.
condolences to your family too on your loss. Um, so like you said, man, I'm like you, man. I'm not going to be too wishful that the Wilder versus AJ happens. If it does happen, great, but I'm not going to even go crazy on thinking that it will to let myself down again. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, if they're gonna make it happen, we'll know. We'll know by next year because 2026 pretty much will be the ending of AJ. He has probably like 3 more fights in 2026, and he's done. So I can't hear him. I can't hear. I see him moving his mouth though. Okay, I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a phone call. That's what it was. AJ Wilder. Ah, Lord. I don't know. I ain't hoping for it.
Yeah, man. So you know, it just it is what it is. We'll just see what happens next year as far as those two parties in 2026. Now, for the last
Absolutely.
to end this and to wrap up this summarize everything. Since we talked about Bud and Canelo, being that they still have to lace up the loose ends as far as the venue, the timing, where it's going to be, this, that, and the other. But hypothetically, the fact that the fight is going to happen and Bud confirmed it's going to happen. Have you changed your opinion on how it plays out? Like, what do you feel? Do you like wake up feeling different a different day and wake up the next day and feel
It's
different? Like back and forth. You know what I mean?
it's back and forth, bro. It's like now I already know where I'm headed with this fight now. Because at first, of course, I was clear on like thinking that Canelo win because of the weight and mainly the weight, more so the weight and the experience and being more powerful at that division in particular. But I'm a true believer that I've been a guy that's been on record saying that I feel like Canelo has regressed over the last 2 3 years, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So, like the fight is a more close for Bud to win, and we was talking about it on L Dub's channel earlier too, talking about how talking about Bud's willpower, his determination, his perseverance, like for him to win in a lot of these fights. I mean, and we know he has one of the most powerful, you know, willpowers to win fights, and I think we're going to see that for sure in this particular situation. As far as with Canelo, it's just all about how can he withstand, Canelo's power, similar to Jamil Charlo in that fight, and how to weight, how he's going to carry on the weight. Is it going to lose some of his speed and some of his power and agility in the fight as well for his athleticism? I mean, in the fight, so it's like one of these fights that where like I've came so close to where I'm like I got Canelo winning, which I'm still edging Canelo right now at the time, but I really don't have no true defining no prediction on who's gonna win this fight for real because I really truly believe Bud can win this fight right now. Like the way Canelo, been looking over the last couple of years, especially in this last fight. Bud has a big chance for sure.
That's what's up, man. So you hear what my bro just said, what Cam J said. about that prediction. I would like to know y'all predictions on what y'all viewing this Bud versus Canelo. What y'all think in the chat? We're gonna get ready to wrap this one up. It is Father's Day. My bro JC got things to handle, and I got to make a call myself. And then in about an hour, Cam J's going down at 4, so I'm gonna tap in with him. So I will uh, be tapping in to you real soon, Cam J, at 4 o'clock.
You already know.
I'm gonna fall through on your live, my guy.
For sure, man. For sure, man. We live. We're gonna be live at the record 4 p.m. cooking up on a lot of the recent topics from all this week, from boxing this week and recapping the fights from last night, and specifically the main topics talk about Tank Davis back in real form, man. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
excited for this at 4 p.m. for sure, man. And this was a great one today, man. We definitely had some great dialogue over here on the Sunday Glory Cook Up, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's an appreciation for sure having me on. You and JC, man, always for sure, man. And everybody sub up to Ringwald Boxing Podcast, man. Like and comment on the playback if you watch us on the playback, man. Support the grind, man, for sure, man. And sub up the KMJ Network, man. We working, man. We working 4 p.m. live. Be lit.
yes sir. Y'all heard it right there.
For sure.
It's going down. So I appreciate you, boss. And we'll chop it up
For
in about an
sure.
hour.
For
Everybody,
sure.
make sure y'all hit them thumbs up. Uh, Make sure you check out my link tree on my profile on FB. Also, we're going to be working on another scan code so you can be able to scan and it'll pull up the link tree. So you'll have options of all the different social media I'm on, from TikTok to FB, Twitter, etc. Also, the online store. And if you looked at my story from last night on FB, and I'll probably share some more, I got a plenty of the female women's colors, the hot pink, the purple, and the different colors that some women may like. And when it comes to purple, as a man, I like purple as well. Um, so we got different variations and different styles and different merch. So just tap in, you know. And I appreciate everybody who fell through today. Salute to everybody who showed love and support. And we'll be back next week at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back on schedule. Today we went early due to Father's Day and a few other situations that are going on. So be blessed, be safe, and I'll catch you on the next round.